The soft hum of computers filled the control room of Guardian's Watch, Earth's most advanced defense station. Commander Lisa Franklin stood at her usual spot, her eyes fixed on the massive holographic display that showed the outer edges of the solar system. Her dark hair was neatly tied back, and her blue uniform carried the distinguished marks of 15 years of service. "Commander, I'm picking up something strange," said First Officer Peter Martinez, his fingers moving quickly across his control panel. "The sensors are showing unusual energy patterns near Pluto's orbit." Lisa walked over to his station, her boots making soft sounds on the polished floor. "Could it be a malfunction?" she asked, leaning in to look at the readings. The strange patterns pulsed with an odd rhythm she had never seen before. "No, ma'am. I've already run 3 diagnostic checks," Peter replied, his face lit by the blue glow of his screen. "These signals are real, and they're getting stronger." Lisa pressed a button on her wrist communicator. "Chief Engineer Walsh, I need you in the control room." She turned to the main viewing screen, which showed the vast emptiness of space. Something didn't feel right, and her years of experience had taught her to trust that feeling. Amy Walsh arrived minutes later, her red engineering uniform slightly wrinkled from working in the maintenance shafts. "What's the situation, Commander?" "Take a look at these readings," Lisa said, pointing to the display. "Have you ever seen anything like this?" Amy's eyes widened as she studied the data. "This energy signature, it's not something we've encountered before, but it reminds me of theoretical models for faster-than-light travel." Just then, every alarm in the control room began to sound at once. The main screen flickered, and what they saw next made everyone freeze. Dozens of ships were appearing out of nowhere, their dark hulls covered in strange markings. They'd moved in a tight formation that could only mean one thing: this was no peaceful exploration fleet. "Battle stations," Lisa's voice rang out clear and strong. "This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." The control room burst into action. Officers rushed to their positions, and the station's defensive systems came online with a deep resonating hum. Peter's hands flew across his console as he analyzed the approaching ships. "Commander, I'm detecting weapons on all vessels," he reported, his voice steady despite the tension. "Their formation matches known attack patterns. These aren't friendly visitors." Lisa straightened her uniform and took a deep breath. She had trained for this moment her entire career, but she never thought she'd be the one to handle humanity's first contact with hostile aliens. "Send word to Earth Defense Command," she ordered, "and activate the emergency protocols. Let's show these visitors that they've made a very big mistake." The mysterious ships grew larger on the main screen as they moved closer to Earth's outer defense perimeter. Their designs were unlike anything humans had ever built, all sharp angles and menacing shapes. But Lisa noticed something interesting about their approach. They moved with the confidence of predators who expected no real resistance. "They think we're helpless," she said, a small smile forming on her lips. "They have no idea what they're flying into." Amy checked the readings again and nodded. "Should we power up the special defenses, Commander?" "Not yet," Lisa replied, watching the alien fleet's approach. "Let them come a little closer. Sometimes the best strategy is to let your opponent think they have the upper hand." As the alien ships crossed Neptune's orbit, Lisa thought about all the years humanity had spent preparing for this moment. The secret weapons, the hidden defenses, and the technological advances that the rest of the galaxy knew nothing about. These pirates were about to learn a very important lesson about judging a species by its apparent level of development. "Send the alert to all Earth defense stations," she commanded. "But tell them to maintain communication silence and wait for my signal." She turned to look at her crew, seeing determination in their eyes. "Let's give our uninvited guests a welcome they'll never forget." Fleet Commander Vexthor stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Star Reaper, his gray-scaled skin gleaming under the purple lights. His yellow eyes narrowed as he studied the holographic display of the solar system ahead. This would be his 13th raid, and he expected it to go just like all the others. "Report," he growled, his sharp teeth showing as he spoke. The crew of lizard-like aliens around him worked quickly at their stations, knowing their commander's reputation for being impatient. "The system has 9 planets, Commander," said his science officer, Kraz. "The 3rd planet is our target. It shows signs of civilization, but their technology seems basic. We detect radio waves and primitive satellites." Vexthor laughed, a harsh sound that made his junior officers flinch. "Another easy target. These humans won't know what hit them." He walked to the front of the bridge, his heavy boots clicking against the metal floor. "Show me their defense capabilities." A new image appeared, showing Earth's visible military satellites and a few space stations. To the pirates, who had raided many worlds before, it looked pathetically weak. They couldn't detect anything that might pose a real threat to their advanced ships. "Look at their pitiful defenses," Vexthor said to his crew. "They don't even have proper energy shields. This might be our easiest raid yet." He turned to his communications officer. "Send the standard warning message. Let's see them panic." In his private quarters, Vexthor opened his trophy collection. He had pieces from every world his fleet had raided, precious metals, rare artifacts, and valuable technology. He had already decided where he would put Earth's treasures. "Commander," called his first officer, Zira, through the intercom. "We found something interesting in their data transmissions. They call themselves a united planet." Vexthor returned to the bridge, amused by this information. United or not, they're still primitive. "How many raids have we done on worlds more advanced than this?" 12 successful missions. This will be lucky number 13. The pirate fleet moved closer to Earth, their ships arranged in an attack formation they had used many times before. Vexthor watched with pride as his fleet of 50 warships approached the solar system. Each ship was covered in battle scars from previous raids, worn like badges of honor. "Sir, we're picking up some odd readings," reported his sensor officer. "There might be more artificial structures than we first thought." "Probably just space junk." Vexthor dismissed the concern with a wave of his clawed hand. "These primitive species always leave trash in their orbit. Prepare the boarding parties. I want teams ready to land as soon as we disable their main defenses." The pirates had done this many times before. First, they would show up suddenly to cause panic. Then they would make demands and threaten the planet. Most worlds surrendered quickly, hoping to avoid destruction. Those that tried to fight always lost. "Launch the scout ships," Vexthor ordered. "Let's get a closer look at what we're dealing with." He watched as small, fast ships flew ahead of the main fleet. "And prepare the intimidation broadcast. I want these humans properly scared before we start taking what we want." But something felt different about this raid. Vexthor couldn't explain it, but he had a strange feeling in his gut. He pushed the thought aside. After all, what could a primitive species like humans do against his mighty fleet? "Sir, the scout ships are approaching their outer defense line," reported Zira. "Should we begin the attack sequence?" Vexthor smiled, showing all his sharp teeth. "Yes. Let's show these humans what real space power looks like. Begin the approach." But he paused, that strange feeling returning. "Keep the shields at maximum, just in case." As the pirate fleet moved deeper into the solar system, they remained unaware that they were being watched. They didn't know that their every move was being tracked, analyzed, and planned for. They had no idea that they weren't the hunters in this situation. They were about to become the prey. Chief Engineer Amy Walsh walked quickly through the hidden corridors deep beneath the lunar surface. Her footsteps echoed in the steel hallway as she made her way to the secret control room of Project Aegis. Behind her, Captain John Harrison struggled to keep up with her pace. "Are you sure it's time to reveal Aegis?" John asked, slightly out of breath. "Once we show them what we have, there's no going back." Amy stopped at a massive door marked Ultra Classified and placed her hand on the scanner. "Those pirates gave us no choice. They're getting too close." The door slid open with a soft hiss, revealing a room filled with advanced technology that would shock most of Earth's own citizens. Inside, dozens of technicians worked at glowing screens that covered the walls. In the center of the room stood a huge hologram showing Earth, the Moon, and thousands of tiny dots scattered throughout space between them. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Amy said, walking up to the hologram. 10 years of secret work. Each of those dots is a cloaked defense platform. The pirates have no idea they're flying right into our web. Susan Cooper, the lunar base commander, walked over to greet them. Her gray uniform showed her high rank, but her eyes sparkled with excitement. "I've waited years to see these defenses in action," she said. "The pirates think they're hunting us, but we're the ones who set the trap." John looked at the hologram with wide eyes. "How many platforms are there?" 5,000, Amy answered proudly. "Each one carries enough firepower to disable a battleship, and that's just the first layer of defense." She touched a control panel, and the hologram changed to show more details. "We also have the quantum disruption field. Once we turn it on, their fancy faster-than-light drives won't work anymore." Susan walked to her command station and opened a secure channel to all Earth's hidden defense bases. "This is Lunar Command. Begin Protocol Thunderstorm. I repeat, begin Protocol Thunderstorm." Across Earth and its colonies, secret facilities sprang to life. Underground hangars opened, revealing advanced warships that had never been shown to the public. Cloaked defense stations powered up their weapons. Everything humanity had built in secret was about to be revealed. "Commander Franklin is keeping the pirates busy," John said, watching the enemy fleet's position on the hologram. "But they're getting closer to the inner system. We need to act soon." Amy nodded and walked to a special control panel covered by a clear plastic case. She lifted the cover and placed her hand on a scanner. "Captain Harrison, I need your authorization code to activate the full Aegis network." John stepped forward and placed his hand next to hers. Together, they spoke their codes clearly. Walsh, Alpha 7 Delta 9, and Harrison, Omega 4 Bravo 6. The room hummed with power as the Aegis network came fully online for the first time. On screens around the room, green lights showed thousands of defense platforms warming up their weapons. The quantum disruption field generators began charging, their energy readings climbing steadily. "How long until we're ready?" Susan asked, watching the power levels rise. 5 minutes to full power," Amy replied. "All platforms will be combat-ready in 3 minutes." She turned to face the others, her expression serious. "I almost feel sorry for the pirates. They think they're about to raid a helpless planet. Instead, they're about to face the most advanced defense network ever built." John checked the latest reports from Earth's hidden fleet. All ships report ready for combat. They're maintaining cloak and waiting for the signal to reveal themselves. Susan smiled as she watched the pirates continue their approach, completely unaware of what waited for them. "Humanity has hidden its strength for a long time," she said. "I think it's time we showed the galaxy what we can really do." The room fell quiet except for the soft beeping of computers and the hum of power systems. In just a few minutes, the pirates would learn a lesson they would never forget. Never judge a species by what they choose to show the galaxy. Lieutenant Kevin Phillips sat at his communication station on Guardian's watch, his fingers hovering over the controls. The pirates' message was coming in, broadcasting on all frequencies. The universal translator worked quickly, turning the aliens' harsh language into English. "Attention, primitive world," the message began, making Kevin smile at their choice of words. "This is Fleet Commander Vexthor of the Zarkax Raiders. Your planet is now under our control. Surrender your resources and accept our rule or face destruction." Commander Lisa Franklin nodded to Kevin. "Send them our reply. Let's see how they handle it." Kevin pressed a few buttons, and Earth's message began broadcasting. "This is Earth Defense Command to approaching fleet. You have entered restricted space. Turn back now, or we will be forced to defend ourselves." His voice was calm and steady, showing none of the excitement he felt inside. On the main screen, they could see the pirate ships still moving forward. They clearly didn't take the warning seriously. Lissa watched them approach, counting down the seconds until they would be in range of Earth's hidden defenses. "They're launching fighter ships," Peter Martinez reported from his tactical station. "Looks like they want to scare us with a show of force." Lisa touched her communicator. "Lunar Base, are we ready?" "Project Aegis is fully powered." Amy Walsh's voice came through clearly. "Quantum disruption field is charged and ready. Waiting for your signal, Commander." The pirate fighters flew in formation, their weapons charged. They probably expected to see panic and fear from the humans. Instead, they found only silence and what looked like weak defenses. "They're preparing to fire," Peter warned. "First wave of fighters is in attack position." Lisa straightened her uniform and took a deep breath. "Send the activation signal to all defense platforms. Let's show them what they're really dealing with." Kevin's hands moved across his console, sending the coded message to Earth's hidden defenses. All around the solar system, cloaked platforms powered up their weapons. The trap was ready to close. The pirate fighters fired their first shots, energy beams heading straight for Earth's visible defense stations. But before they could hit, something unexpected happened. The beams hit an invisible shield and disappeared completely. "Quantum shields holding at 100%, Peter reported with a grin. "They didn't even scratch the paint." Lisa nodded. "Activate the disruption field. Cut off their escape route." Deep in space, hidden generators created a special field of energy. The pirates' faster-than-light drives suddenly stopped working. They were trapped in Earth's solar system, whether they liked it or not. On his flagship, Vex Thor was starting to realize something was wrong. His fighters' weapons had no effect. His ships couldn't activate their jump drives, and his sensors were picking up strange energy readings all around his fleet. "What's happening?" he demanded, his confidence starting to crack. "Why aren't our weapons working?" Back on Guardian's watch, Lisa gave the order everyone had been waiting for. "Show them our fleet. All ships to cloak and power up weapons." In space around the pirate fleet, something amazing happened. Thousands of advanced human warships appeared out of nowhere. They had been there the whole time, hidden by technology the pirates didn't know existed. Each ship was bigger and more powerful than anything the pirates had. "Send them another message," Lisa ordered. "Tell them they have one chance to surrender. After that, we'll show them what our weapons can do." Kevin sent the message, then looked at his commander. "Do you think they'll surrender?" Lisa watched the main screen, where the pirate fleet now looked small and vulnerable, surrounded by Earth's ships. "They'd better," she said. "Because if they don't, they're about to have a very bad day." The entire command center waited in silence. The next few minutes would show whether the pirates were smart enough to give up, or if they needed a demonstration of Earth's real military power. Fleet Commander Vex Thor couldn't believe his eyes. His mighty pirate fleet now looked tiny compared to the massive human warships that surrounded them. His clawed hands gripped the arms of his command chair so hard that the metal began to bend. "Impossible," he shouted, standing up to stare at the main screen. "Where did all these ships come from? Our sensors showed nothing." His science officer, Kraz, worked frantically at his station. "Commander, these human ships have technology we've never seen before. Their power readings are off the charts. All around the Star Reaper, Earth's warships hung in space like giant predators. Their dark hulls gleamed with hidden weapon ports, and their size made the pirate ships look like toys in comparison. The humans had hidden their true strength well, and now the pirates were paying the price for their overconfidence. "Try to activate the jump drives," Vex Thor ordered. "We need to get out of here." "It's no use, sir," Zyra reported, her scaled face showing real fear for the first time. "Something is blocking our faster-than-light systems. We're trapped here." On the Guardian's watch, Commander Lisa Franklin watched the pirates' confusion with satisfaction. Their fleet had frozen in place, surrounded by Earth's superior forces. The tiny fighter ships that had seemed so threatening before now rushed back to their carrier ships like scared fish. Their weapons had no effect on our quantum shields, Peter Martinez reported from his tactical station. They're trying to find a weakness, but there isn't one. Lisa nodded and turned to Kevin Phillips at Communications. Put me through to all channels. Let's make sure they understand their situation. Kevin pressed a few buttons, and Lisa's voice boomed across space to every pirate ship. Attention Zarkax raiders. Your weapons are useless against our defenses. Your ships are surrounded. Your faster-than-light drives have been disabled. You have one last chance to surrender. Back on the Star Reaper, Vexthor watched in horror as more human ships appeared. Hidden defense platforms decloaked all around his fleet, their weapons pointed directly at his ships. Each platform was powerful enough to destroy his flagship with a single shot. "Sir," Kraz called out, his voice shaking. "I'm detecting energy readings from the human ships that shouldn't be possible. Their technology is centuries ahead of what we thought they had." Vexthor sank back into his command chair. How had they gotten it so wrong? The humans weren't primitive at all. They had simply hidden their true power, waiting for someone foolish enough to attack them. "Commander," Zyra said quietly, "what are your orders?" Before Vexthor could answer, the humans demonstrated their power. A single defense platform fired a warning shot that passed between two pirate ships. The energy beam was unlike anything the pirates had ever seen, leaving a trail of distorted space in its wake. "By the ancient stars," Kraz whispered, checking his readings. "That single shot had enough power to destroy our entire fleet." On Guardian's watch, Lisa watched the pirates closely. "They're beginning to understand," she said to her crew. "Sometimes the best way to win a fight is to be so strong that your enemy doesn't dare to start one." The pirates' confidence had completely disappeared. Their ships, which had appeared so threatening when they first arrived, now looked small and vulnerable. They had come expecting to find easy prey, but instead discovered they had challenged one of the most powerful civilizations they had ever encountered. "Your time is running out," Lisa broadcast to the pirate fleet. "What's it going to be, Commander Vexthor? Surrender, or find out what our weapons can really do." Major Diana Wright sat in the captain's chair of the Earth battleship Star Guardian. Her ship was one of the largest in Earth's fleet, and today it would show the pirates just how powerful humanity really was. "The pirates are trying to form a defensive circle," her sensor officer reported. "They're pointing all their weapons outward." Diana smiled. It was a good strategy, but it wouldn't help them. "Begin attack pattern Delta," she ordered. "Lieutenant Banks, prepare the EMP torpedoes." Christopher Banks nodded from his weapons station. The EMP torpedoes were one of Earth's newest weapons. They could shut down any ship's systems without destroying it. Perfect for capturing pirates who needed to face justice. On the Star Reaper, Vexthor watched helplessly as the human ships moved into attack positions. His crew waited nervously for his orders, but for the first time in his life as a pirate leader, he didn't know what to do. "Commander," Zyra said urgently, "the human ships are powering up their weapons." Before Vexthor could respond, Diana's voice came through their speakers. "This is Major Wright of the Earth Defense Fleet. Your time to surrender has expired. Now you'll see what happens to those who threaten our planet." Diana nodded to Christopher. "Fire the first wave of EMPs. Disable their outer ships." Bright blue torpedoes shot from the Star Guardian and other Earth ships. They moved faster than the pirates could track, leaving trails of light behind them. When they hit the pirate ships, there were no explosions. Instead, waves of energy washed over the ships, and one by one, their lights went out. "Direct hits on all targets," Christopher reported. 10 pirate ships disabled. Their weapons and engines are completely dead. Vexthor watched in horror as his outer defense ships went dark. Their crews were fine, but the ships were now useless, floating helplessly in space. He had never seen weapons like this before. "Second wave, target their fighter carriers," Diana ordered. More EMP torpedoes launched, taking out the ships that carried the pirates' small fighter craft. The fighters themselves drifted powerless in space, their pilots unable to do anything but wait to be captured. On Guardian's watch, Commander Lisa Franklin watched the battle with satisfaction. "Major Wright is handling this perfectly," she said to her crew. "Not a single life lost, but the pirates are being completely defeated." The Star Reaper shook as an EMP torpedo exploded nearby. Vexthor saw more of his ships going dark, their crews sending desperate distress calls that no one would answer. "We've lost half the fleet," Kraz shouted. "Our shields can't stop their weapons." Diana's voice came through again, calm and confident. "Final warning, Commander Vexthor. Surrender now, or the next torpedo hits your flagship. I don't think you want to learn what it feels like to float helplessly in space." Vexthor looked at his tactical display. Most of his fleet was already disabled. The few ships that still had power were surrounded by Earth's massive warships. Their advanced weapons were ready to fire, and their quantum shields made the pirates' own weapons useless. "How?" he asked quietly, more to himself than his crew. "How did we not know they were this powerful?" Zira stepped closer to his command chair. "Sir, we have to surrender. We have no chance against their technology." Diana watched the Star Reaper closely from her bridge. "Target their flagship," she ordered. "Let's help Commander Vexthor make the right decision." Earth's ships moved closer, their weapons glowing with power. The message was clear: surrender or be disabled like the rest of the pirate fleet. The choice was simple, but for a proud pirate commander, it was the hardest decision of his life. Fleet Commander Vexthor stood with his head bowed in Guardian's Watch's main conference room. His weapons had been taken away, and Earth security officers stood guard nearby. Around the large table sat representatives from Earth's defense forces, including Commander Lisa Franklin and Major Diana Wright. "Let me understand this clearly," Lisa said, looking at the defeated pirate leader. "You've raided 12 other civilizations before trying to attack Earth." "Yes," Vexthor answered quietly, his proud spirit broken. "We thought your world would be the 13th. We were very wrong." Diana smiled. "Did you ever wonder why Earth seems so primitive on the surface? Why we let everyone think we had only basic space technology?" The pirate commander looked up, his yellow eyes showing understanding for the first time. "You were hiding your true strength, waiting for someone like us to make a mistake." "Exactly," Lisa nodded. "Earth learned long ago that it's better to be underestimated. We built our defenses in secret, waiting for the day someone would try to attack us." In space around Earth, human ships were busy collecting the disabled pirate vessels. Lieutenant Christopher Banks supervised as rescue ships picked up stranded pirate crew members. Not a single life had been lost in the battle, thanks to Earth's advanced EMP weapons. "The quantum disruption field is powered down," Amy Walsh reported from her station. "All pirate ships have been secured. Their crews are being transferred to holding facilities on the moon." Susan Cooper entered the conference room with a datapad. "We've finished checking their ship's computers," she said. "We now have the locations of all their hidden bases and the worlds they've raided." Lisa turned back to Vexthor. "Here's what's going to happen. You and your crew will face trial under Earth's space laws. Then we're going to help those other worlds you attacked. We'll return what you stole and help them build better defenses." "The galaxy's about to change," Diana added. "Earth is coming out of hiding. We'll make sure pirates like you can't hurt innocent worlds anymore." News of the failed pirate attack spread quickly across the galaxy. Other civilizations were shocked to learn that Earth, which they had thought was barely able to reach its own moon, was actually one of the most advanced worlds in known space. "Commander," Kevin Phillips called from his communication station, "we're getting messages from 30 different worlds. They all want to talk about forming alliances with Earth." Lisa smiled as she walked to the large window overlooking Earth. The beautiful blue planet now had a new role in the galaxy. No longer pretending to be weak, Earth would help protect other worlds from those who would harm them. In his holding cell, Vexthor thought about everything that had happened. "We were so foolish," he said to Zira in the cell next to his. "We thought we were so powerful, but we knew nothing." "The humans tricked everyone," Zira replied. "They let us think they were easy prey, but they were really the most dangerous predator of all." 1 month later, Lisa stood in front of the United Earth Council, giving her final report on the pirate incident. "The attack on Earth taught everyone an important lesson," she said. "Never judge a civilization by what they show you. Earth kept its strength hidden, but now it's time to use that strength to help others." The council members nodded in agreement. Earth's days of hiding were over. Now it would be known throughout the galaxy as a protector of peace, a defender of the weak, and a world that no one should ever try to invade. Peter Martinez smiled as he watched Earth's ships prepare to visit the worlds the pirates had attacked. "I almost feel sorry for the next group of raiders who think they found an easy target," he said. "Don't feel too sorry for them," Lisa replied with a smile. "After all, they'll learn the same lesson these pirates did. Earth is not what it seems, and those who threaten us always regret it."